I'm pleased to welcome let's say interesting solution, because I think that with you, Angela, and you will introduce you, as well as Emmanuel with Fennech, you are trying to disrupt and to come with new ideas, and you are really typically the fintech which try to change the world. And I'm also pleased to welcome Kim Vercoulen from Treasury Research, also to talk about an aspect we have not talked or addressed so far, although it's quite important. What should be the skills or the upskills needed for staffing properly our teams, and what will be, let's say, the training we need to follow to remain updated and up to date and, let's say, employable by our company. So interesting also to have your view, because you work across Europe. So thanks for coming. And ladies first, I would like to ask Angela to shortly introduce yourself and Como Digital Live. What a program.
Yeah, I'm playing not so...
I don't think so, but let's try this one. It works.
I would like to say it's not so important who I am, but more important who is Como. Como Digital Life is on his way to actually addressing the mid-size market, which is on the biggest change actually to introduce Treasury the first time, and getting a so-called ready-to-go solution compared to Fennech. We are coming from the payment side, more from the transactional banking side, and introducing in-house finance, ready-to-go solution. In the future, you will see more, like my commercial director, he is sitting here, said we are deliver payments and much more. So that's actually Como Digital Life.
Okay, thank you. So Ingrid, Kim, could you introduce yourself and the Treasury Research for those who
So I'm Kim, indeed, so working for Treasury Research, which is a specialized recruitment agency solely focused on Treasury. And we do this in the Benelux area in Germany, and for both interim and permanent positions. So we try to find all the treasurers here in the audience a nice next challenge or new colleagues. So if anyone has questions later on, please contact me.
I was looking for a new job.
Yeah.
No, but and your colleague and working with Peter de Kewit, that we know quite well for having been hosted several times here for presentation or to the summit. So, and by the way, you produce an interesting weekly newsletter that I really encourage people to subscribe.
Oh, thanks.
So very interesting. So your view and your feedback will be quite interesting to come to what skills do we need for the future, because it takes time. Emmanuel, with you, Fennech also maybe not known from our, let's say, members, although it's not the first time you are here, and pleased to welcome you today. But could you just introduce yourself, your background, and Fennech?
Thank you. Thank you, Francois. Hello, everyone. Really happy to be here. And it's always a pleasure to be at the ATEL Day. And thank Francois and Jérôme for organizing that. It's really high quality. Not going to talk about me, but Fennech is a UK-based company. And what we do is basically two things. On the one hand, it's a treasury technology infrastructure provider. So basically, it's all about at-scale processing and connectivity whatsoever for those who've got very special needs. And also it is, and we might discuss about that later, it's also about the use of, I don't want to say generative AI, no, agentic AI and all those tools in a controlled and disciplined environment, and looking at what it can offer in practical terms today in the treasury world.
Yeah. So very interesting. So maybe let's start with you two, Angela and Emmanuel. So what are your vision of the future, and or are you trying to reshape or to shape differently the technology solution? And you mentioned, and I think that it's valid for both, that you also try to offer a solution that could be useful for smaller companies or SMEs or mid-cap that are not necessarily have access to a treasury or big treasury management system. So Good start, Angela.
Yeah, I think the biggest aspect in all that wonderful technology world is the human being. The human being who...
Yes, it works. Closer to...
the human being, which we are actually totally underestimate the impact inside what it will bring. So therefore we had disruption in many aspects in the last 20 years. We have seen that. I think the most familiar disruption was Uber as a big bang, how to deliver a taxi ride. Yeah, they have not reinvented the taxi per se, yeah, but they have reinvented how do I deliver the access. So the same aspect we have used in Como to say it must be more easier with less knowledge, yeah, to access Treasury functionalities which are more, let me say, self-explanatory, self-serviced, more driven by intuition, and obviously the AI is helping a lot in that aspect to support the individual in front of their or in charge of Treasury. We have also, we see also in the market that many mid-sized companies just phasing that they need to do something. Yeah, I mean, the Access spreadsheet is one of the most long-lasting interim solutions, and they are stocking in big funds. You're surprised how they do that, yeah, in our days, or in asset companies, property funds, etc. And I think this market is a totally developed market in the aspect of Treasury and payment orchestration. And I think there we are leading in the, also we are coming to the future to have better ready-to-go solutions in rather than to have a ERP similar integration.
And are you developing everything on your own, or you try to partner with different solutions, not to reinvent the wheel each time?
Exactly. There comes the, this is a very good word, it's, we call it orchestration of services, obviously to giving in a regulated environment, yeah, access to such solutions. And of course, we don't want to invent the wheel new. There are a lot of very beautiful vertical products and services available, and therefore I think the orchestration of services comes more necessary than ever. And we have seen that also in the payment industry, or also I refer to one of the superstars inside the technology, which is Stripe, yeah, which has enabled for small and medium-sized companies immediately to join the e-commerce in that section. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe Emmanuel, first I forget to let's say congratulate you for the recent award you've won. So maybe you can say just a word about that.
Thanks, Francois. No, just 2 hours ago in Singapore at the Singapore FinTech Festival. That is quite something. That's the 10th anniversary today. We have been nominated by the regulator and winner of the FinTech of the Year and Emerging FinTech in Asia. So it's always nice. And what happened is that in Singapore and in Luxembourg today, we are launching a new service that is an agentic treasury team. So it made my day.
Could you talk about Ogura, because I saw that you have a new logo, a new product. So could you
it's
explain?
It's a new basically product within our suite. But so we're talking about technology. Let's come back to your question, and I will reconnect. In each of the conferences we go, I think most of us think we are always hearing the same thing and the same topic, and liquidity, whatever. B, in terms of technology, whether there is a new technology that is breakthrough, there are, but we know them, and it's not per se the technology itself, it's the usage of it. So instant ISO 20022, instant rails, whatsoever, and as discussed earlier, generative AI versus agentic AI, those technologies are more or less known. The question is how they are implemented. If we talk about integration, as you did, with the ERP whatsoever, is that basically all those tasks best practices have not gone so far in applications, not have been done so far. So, come back to what we just said. Best practices, wishful thinking, and so on and so forth, but in reality, we're always running after something. In reality, there is always a sort of an Excel somewhere or a spreadsheet. In reality, we have in Europe 700,000 mid-caps and upper mid-caps. 73% of them don't have a treasury function, right? And we have large corps, and you look at the subsidiaries, and there is a financial controller looking at. So what I mean is that technologies we can discuss, but the situation, the fragmentation, and the difficulties are still there, all over the place. So what we are trying to do, not only with Ogura, but also, and Francois will discuss, trying to give, or purchase whatever, the knowledge, the confidence, address the real problematics in terms of human impact, etc. So something Francois will talk about later. But what we're trying at Fennech to do is very pragmatically package those solutions in ways where it is very, very, very simple to make step-by-step journey into fixing the problems we keep talking about.
Yeah. Okay, maybe to switch and to come back to you, Kim. So we see that technology is really impacting a lot of our activities. So again, coming to my point, so what are the new skills or set of skills and maybe role or expertise, experience and background we should look for? So are you seeing already so far changes in the way we recruit in Treasury, or is it something that it's not yet there? So,
yeah, we already see a bit of it. So where we already talked about that it's becoming less operational and more strategic and really being a business partner. And you also see this in the junior roles a bit, that the focus is less on experience in certain tasks and more on having a knowledge of how to use AI, but also knowing its limits. And that in combination with other just the technology skills and the openness to learn in that.
I know that you have developed an interesting tool, by the way, for the assessment of the expertise of treasurers that I do recommend if you want to have an assessment of your team or if you want to recruit.
Well,
to
with
make sure
AI, we are also working on
are
that
you,
one because
my point, are you adding this kind of layers of technology, let's say, to the questionnaires? Or maybe not yet.
But we're working on that one because,
Okay.
yeah, with AI also, we there is the question how people fill in these assessments. So how are you going to make sure that they're not using AI to answer them? So that's a work in progress with AI coming up. It's also we have to adapt there. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So university they try to adapt to the new skill. And for those who work for a couple of years in Treasury, and we had a couple of examples in the panelists, so what sort of hard and soft skills you do recommend to develop in the coming years to be still employable in a couple of years?
So I think in terms of soft skills, nothing has really changed because it stays that you have to have the critical thinking. That's very important to most of our employers that we have. The openness to change, to innovate, the creativity of someone, and really being able to drive these changes that you also have in AI. You also have the right mindset, and I think that's where with recruitment we see that a lot of clients focus a bit more to what kind of person are we hiring? Is that a match with the company and where we want to go? And their capabilities, and less on the specific expertise.
Okay. I don't know if we have the slide because you have an interesting quiz that I've tried to use. So maybe by using, maybe you can click, and I hope that the
my technology experience is really
give it
bad.
You need to upskill. So I don't know if we have Carol ZQ. Oh yeah, just a sec. Yeah. So it just you can.
It's a
let's
really
say
brief quiz.
It's a really short, let's say, survey. I don't know. 4-minute survey.
4
but,
minutes.
Interesting for you, just if you want to know the type and the type of profile, the type of AI profile or
Yeah.
user you are or you will be. It's interesting, so you will see easy to answer, and so it gives you immediately the result
Yeah.
and
It's,
profile.
it's really short, and it also gives some type of roles that you are in, but it is focused a bit more on the juniors. So
Yeah.
that's we already spoke about that a bit, but interesting to do and to see where you end up.
Okay, and maybe coming back to you, Angela and Emmanuel. So, what are the differentiators that Como is offering? You talked to me about the virtualization of account to be a sort of orchestrator of different solutions. What makes Como really a disruptor compared to the classic solution we used to see?
Look, the classic solutions are coming ERP, Treasury management system, hundreds of bank accounts around the globe, etc. This is actually the situation, let me say, in such a mid-size scenario, if they even have a treasury management system. Yeah, so let's consider they have an Excel spreadsheet. So and on the end, you are orchestrating, I don't know, 100 tokens, yeah, in order to enter in your bank account. Open banking in B2B has not arrived to the extension where you are really can access one bank account and orchestrate the rest of the bank accounts, etc. This is all wish thinking, yeah. So for that reason, we have said, okay, let's produce out of payments where the money and the reality is laying, yeah, access not only to the 60% what a mid-sized company use from a treasury management system into the bank account environment to enable them to issue virtual accounts and virtual IBANs to orchestrate the whole organization inside with their subsidiaries around the globe. Obviously, we had to start somewhere, which is in Luxembourg, but our roadmap is related to also open other jurisdictions in order to issue local accounts, more actually of the pleasure of national needs, or also to enter instant payment routes in order to make a kind of real-time payment happen, which is not related to stablecoins necessary. So we are still, in the majority of payments, we are still in the fiat environment. So for that reason, we need still to address also that market. However, what is the aim is actually to add all the other services to it, starting from FX, payout engine into the world on real time. There are a few providers who are connected. Then the other thing is that is more future music is of course having access to multiple money market solutions in order to access directly from your bank account to that solution, and that we are considered as an embedded service. So we are not offer them per se under our own supervision. That is it's seamlessly integrated. The client sees in fact only one combined dashboard, and he moves from service to service inside the platform. That is actually the final vision of Como called Community of Money, and that is actually says it in these two words, yeah, that we are giving access to all stakeholders which are needed in the treasury.
Yeah, it's interesting to say that you can also open bank accounts because you are regulated here in Luxembourg, and that you are not serving only the corporates but also the managed services, the funds, the multifamily offices, etc. So very interesting. And by the way, you can also simplify, orchestrate, and channel the KYC. What could be also something that is really useful for corporates?
Yeah, that is one of our newest invention. What we are will provide is compliance by design. Yeah. We are following a little bit strictly, I have to say, as maybe also considered. I'm a big fan of Bauhaus. Yeah, yeah. Technology meets the functionality first, yeah, and then the design is following to humanize the entire aspect.
Yeah. And maybe just a final question for you, Emmanuel. So So we mentioned Ogura, a new product you've just launched. So could you just explain briefly the concept of using the AI agent?
Yes. So the idea is not to plug what sort of co-pilot AI alongside a traditional TMS. We have been thinking around what is a Treasury teams, what are the responsibilities, and what the tasks have to be done first. So from a pure user, strategically, what Treasury has to do. Look at the constraint, try to fix the constraints, and go to something that delivers at the same time hyper automation, compliance audit, reliability, auditability, because that's important, trying to take away the concerns one can have about whatever AI it is. And C, go to what I call the essential position of a treasurer. Treasury is about having a judgment. Treasury is not basically producing whatever, a report, or talking about technology, or talking about MPI, or no, it's about judgment. And so, what we try to do with Ogura is creating an agentic team. This team is going to work 24/7 for you in a controlled, very controlled environment in order to provide the insight, the analysis, the options that present to you as an operator, treasurer, what should I do? What can I do? And if I do that, what would be the implications and the consequences? And if I do that, can you please help me execute, book, that basically I don't spend my time in administrative tasks. That's exactly what it is. We create an agentic treasury team with full control and then human control at all moment, and the objective is taking out non-added value tasks from the treasury in order to keep human do what they are good at, taking decisions. That's what it is.
Oh, interesting iterative approach, a DIY approach, I would say so, but I think it will be quite promising and very interesting. So if you want to know more about them, do not hesitate to visit the booth. So I would like to thank you three, so Angela, Kim, and Emmanuel, for your insightful comments.